Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Fantasy Cricket Show. This is your host Karthik, and with me today are Nitin and George. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, Karthik.
And the last time we did this show, we were obviously before the third ODI, and we didn't obviously budget the rain. And what happened after that was Nitin Sundar made 5 changes, or rather, he made some changes to his team, which had 5 bowlers, and he took out Clinton de Kock as the captain. So, can you run us through that particular decision?
Yeah, I had mentioned it before the third ODI. I thought it's unlikely that de Kock would get 300s on the trot. I thought law of averages would catch up with him. It clearly didn't. I made Virat Kohli my captain, which didn't really benefit me in any way because he didn't get to bat. Well, not too bad because I had David Miller and I still had de Kock in my team, so got a good share of.
And he
there.
still managed to win the internal ESPN Cricinfo Fantasy League. So congrats to Nitin on that. He beat PC or Parikshit Chitre by about 10 points. So Nitin finished on 2095. Well, Parikshit finished on 2085. Well, the rest of us, well, we don't want to go display our points right away. But we'll cut to the next important event that's coming up soon enough next week. India takes on South Africa in the Test series. And what is the feeling going into the Test series? Is it going to be 0-2 or?
On the evidence of what we've seen so far, I think India would do well to, maybe get away with a drawn series. South Africa look irresistible as a test side. So I don't think there would be anyone betting against a South African win, really.
I think 1-0 in South Africa's favour is probably a good result for India. So yeah, not very optimistic about the Indian team doing well against the South African fast bowlers. Even if rain comes into the picture, I think there'll be enough time for those fast bowlers to get 20 Indian wickets. So yeah.
So going by that, you'd obviously have more South Africans in your fantasy team than Indians. So are we looking at most of your teams looking like 4 Indians and 7 South Africans? Because 7 is the limit for the number of players you could have in any particular team.
Yeah, I think I'll look to do a 7+4 if the points sort of allow me to do that. Lots of South African fast bowlers, lots of South African middle order batsmen. I think there's a question mark over Graeme Smith given his history against Zaheer Khan. So that's probably one Indian I might look to bring into the team. Zaheer Khan is sort of fighting fit and been in good form in domestic cricket and all of that. But otherwise, lots of South African fast bowlers and Hashim Amla, JP Dumini, AB de Villiers, all those guys.
It's going to be hard to fit all of them into your team, Nitin, given the budget. But I was looking at the squad and the combinations, and for the one-dayers, most of us went in with 2 all-rounders, but I really don't see the space for 2 all-rounders in the test side because there's Callis obviously for from South Africa, but are you going to pick Jadeja or Ashwin for there? I don't think so. And even fitting Callis into the side is a bit tricky if you want Amla and de Villiers and Dale Steyn in your team.
True, it's a tough compromise to make, but some of the all-rounders have been performing well. If you cut back to one of the earlier series, I just recall seeing all-rounders getting 540 points, but that's an extreme. But you could probably expect around 200 points for an all-rounder. So if you pick 5 to 6 people who are going to get you those 200 points, given that this is a test match and having 2 innings, you're looking at somewhere between 1,500 or 2,000 points for one particular test match to totally have. So where would you want to distribute that? Do you have your team right now?
Off the top of my head, I decided that I had to have Amla, de Villiers and Steyn in my team. And then my next pick was Philander. And I had to work around that, So the South African batsmen I have Amla, and I had to pick Dean Elgar to make the budget work, de Villiers. Whereas the Indian batsmen I have are Rahane and Pujara. And Steyn, Philander are South African fast bowlers, and Zaheer Khan is in my team as well. Yeah.
Zaheer Khan and Graeme Smith can't be in the same team, can they?
And you're sort of hedging yourself against one of them failing if you pick both of them. So.
But Graeme Smith is a fighter, yeah? He's been left out of South Africa's one-day plans. He's coming back from, an injury layoff. He will really fight hard to perform in the series, and his sheer will could make him succeed.
Typically Smith is the guy who gets a lot of runs when South Africa are under pressure. I don't see them being under pressure in this series, so it might be too easy a situation for him to come out and stamp pencil. But you never know. Yeah, there are lots of runs to be had in the series for South African batsmen. That's the verdict. So you never know. You might see Smith digging in. But the good thing, the flip side to that is some of the Indian top order batsmen aren't very highly valued. So you can actually get a few of them in to get the balance in your team. And who knows, maybe one or two of them are going to click in the series and get us a lot of points.
So that's our pick, and that's the same side that I've also gone for. I picked the South African fast bowlers, not compromised on any of I expect most of my points to come from the South African fast bowlers. I've also included Shami Ahmed in my plans for my team, and that's it. So you're investing in South Africa's fast bowlers and maybe a little bit of batsmen who you think will click, will play 2 innings. I'm assuming India will play 2 innings and South Africa won't. So I've just picked my batsmen from India. So from a team perspective, the advice is to go pick on your South African bowlers. And finally, we end the show with some of the winners who have accumulated all the points in the phase 1 of the India-South Africa series, which is obviously the ODI series. And so the winners are Park Power, Mind Hackers, and the Winning Pro 11.
But you haven't yet won anything because we don't have any phase prizes. It's important to be at the top of the leaderboard when the test matches end. So that means you continue to play the game in all seriousness. There are infinite changes that you can make between now and the start of the test series. And there are 2 changes you can make during the test matches itself. But remember, the changes during the test matches are not going to reflect if you make them during the match. So any change you make after the first test will only be reflected in the second test. So that's a lot of complex rules that you need to keep in your mind. And let's hope that you guys are still on top of the leaderboard at the end of it all.
Yeah, and that's it for now. So that's where this show ends. Here's hoping that you play very well.